Welcome to Angel City's Beer and Cheese Pairing. My name is Jessica Jelly. I'm the event coordinator here at Angel City. Today, I am going to pair the Sunbather with white sharp cheddar. So we're gonna get started on that, and it should be a fun time. So our Sunbather Kettle Sour is one of my favorite beers. This is the beer that got me into sour beers in general. It is tart and refreshing. God, I love this beer. Yeah. So this is a really fun pairing. When I pair beer and cheese together, I like to match the flavor intensity. So both of these are pungent, sharp flavors that kind of kick your mouth a little bit, but because they are both very particular, they go so well together. So with the cheese, you get that acidic, sharp, almost grainy mouthfeel quality because it is a sharp cheddar. Yeah, it's really nice on the tongue, gives you that mouthfeel, lots of fat in the cheese that makes it really delectable. And then with the Sunbather, it gives it that sharp, also interesting mouthfeel because of the way that it plays on your tongue. So the same way that the grainy mouthfeel is in with the cheddar, the Sunbather gives you an effervescent mouthfeel, and it makes it really pair well on your tongue. I tend to pair it with things that you could eat that also have both flavors and have that tangy quality to it. So barbecue, I think, is a great pairing with Sunbather. I also really love to pair it with spicy food. So hot wings, the cheddar, sharp cheddar can go with a lot of things, but I love to use sharp cheddar on a burger. I love to use it just as part of like a general charcuterie board, or pairing it with different types of fun cracker and cheese situations. But at the end of the day, just pairing it with the beer is just a quality snack. We sell this beer at the public house in 6-packs, and we also have it available in growlers and growlers to go if you want that draft beer. I hope you guys have a good time with this and watch all the rest of the videos. Cheers!
Hi, I'm Renee, and I'm the Retail Operations Manager here at Angel City. And today we're going to do a little IPA pairing with some Roquefort, I think? Roquefort blue cheese?
Yes.
Yeah. Today we're going to be taking a look at our Angel City IPA, our classic West Coast baby that we've been brewing since day one. Along with the blue cheese, nice creamy, super aromatic cheese, and let's see how this goes, right? So first, I'm going to taste the cheese because, you know, I got to know what I'm talking about when I tell you about this beer. And I'm going to cut better than that. So super crumbly, like any good blue cheese should be. Not talking with your mouth full, right? Super creamy, really robust. It's got that nice kind of crunch to it, almost like a good cheddar, but it's blue, so it's good. And let's crack open a beer, because who doesn't? Guys. I'm strong, I promise. So we're gonna take a look at this classic Angel City IPA. It's a West Coast baby, about as classic West Coast as you can get. We got Citra, Warrior, Cascade, and Mosaic, and Centennial, and my personal favorite, Nelson. Making a super nice bitter beer, really good malty backbone to settle out the balance a little bit. It's so good, and if you know me well, you know I drink it all the time. As far as its pairing with cheese, we talked about the creaminess of the cheese. It pairs really well with the maltiness character of the beer, and then that blue funk to it goes super well with the bitterness of the beer. And if you don't mind, I'm going to take a sip, because I still have that awesome cheese on my palate, and I want to, you know, make it go. As far as other things that this beer goes well with, spicy food. I know that sounds maybe super surprising, but I love it with Thai food. You don't want to have an IPA as bitter as this with food that's kind of low-key like fish, because it'll totally drown out the flavors. But with Thai food, you have that super strong spiciness, and the spice can, perhaps like Thai food. Thai food, the spice on it pairs really well with the bitterness of the beer, and the maltiness kind of gives you a little bit of relief when you're eating that super hot stuff from that part of the world, from that region. As far as where you can get this awesome beer, right here in the Public House. We have it on tap. We have it in these cans on sale. These are 16-ounce cans, and you can take to go in a crowler from this bad boy, which is out of frame.
Good. Yes. I really do like this beer a lot. I mean, look at that color. Hi, my name is Simon. I'm a brewer here at Angel City Brewery. The beer that I wanted to pair with the cheese is our Puncheon the Fresa. Puncheon the Fresa is a barrel-aged sour beer. It has been aged in puncheon barrels that were used to hold red wine. What is a puncheon? A puncheon is a very, very large wine barrel. It's made of French oak, and back in the old days of England, it was 1/3 of what they called a ton, and this beer is very tart. It's sour. We used lactic acid bacteria, or lacto, to kettle sour this beer in our kettle in the brew house. After that, we put it into the fermenter for primary fermentation, and once it was ready, we put it into these puncheons. We let it age for a little bit, and that's when we added the strawberries. So it's been in there for 14 months. We packaged it, and if you look at it, it has a very nice orange, kind of blonde character or color, and it should be a little bit more red, but what it lacks in strawberry or red color, it makes up in aroma. The aroma is just off the charts. I mean, the foam is just beautiful. Anyway, this beer pairs very well with a couple of different types of food. There's Bleu and goat cheese, like very strong, stinky cheeses. It pairs well with mollusks or seafood. You know, something that you can put butter and lemon juice over. It pairs well with creamy foods, such as omelets or things with a cream-based sauce. And it also goes well with cured meats, like, you know, cured pork, etc. But I am pairing this beer with 2 cheeses because I couldn't make up my mind of which cheese I wanted to eat. So we have a beautiful we have a beautiful Brie and a very tart goat cheese. Now, Bries are very soft and creamy. They lend themselves very well to other flavors that you pair with it. With this beer, it will allow the strawberries to really shine through while giving it that nice creaminess, and it will meld together to give you a very nice cheesy and fruity, I guess, taste combination. So let's go ahead and try it. So the first cheese that we're going to pair with the Puncheon the Fresa is the Brie. As I've said before, the Brie is a very soft, creamy, mild flavored cheese. It really adapts to the flavor that you're pairing it with. So with Brie, it's a very soft cheese. It's very creamy. The rind gives it a little bit of saltiness, but paired with the beer, Now, Puncheon the Fresa is pretty sour, and the Brie just helps cut that down. So you can have a sip of beer, and then you can have a bite of cheese, and it just goes into this cycle where you want to keep, you know, eating and drinking at the same time because they just pair so well, they overlap. We're going to move on to the goat cheese. Puncheon the Fresa, I mentioned before, is very sour, and so is the goat cheese. Now, the goat cheese and the beer are very evenly matched with the intensity of sourness that you're going to experience. So it's also, we ended up getting crumbles, but it comes in little logs as well, little rolls. And as you can see, it's very soft, just like with Brie. It's very sour, very tart. It's a little funky. It's also a little goaty, which kind of goes well with the beer because it is funky and it is sour as well. So these two things, they're just on the same level of intensity, which allows the strawberries to really shine through. Every time you breathe in, you can just get funk and strawberry and sweetness and sourness. And the body or the mouthfeel of the cheese, once again, helps cut through the sourness of the beer. Oh, it's so good. Okay, moving on to the next thing. So, we just finished with the Brie and the goat cheese with the Puncheon the Fresa. Two amazing flavor combinations that I hope you can try. You can find Puncheon the Fresa in 22-ounce bombers here at the brewery, and you can occasionally find it on draft. We don't always pull it out, but when we're feeling nice and fancy and when we want a little cheese party, we bring it out. Thank you very much for joining me for this delicious pairing. And hopefully you had as much fun as I did. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Leticia. I'm the marketing and events manager here at Angel City Brewery. I'm featuring today one of my favorite styles, which is going to be our Bach Beer. It's actually from our Eastside series. Bach Beer, so it's going to be a little bit more on the maltier side. Honestly, super creamy, super light, kind of just makes you want to snuggle up with somebody or myself, or with some cheese, because you know. I think this beer pairs great with multiple things. Specifically, the Gouda is lovely. I think even a little funky blue cheese would go good with it. And you could put this in your favorite pasta, you can make it on a burger, throw some Gouda on there. You could do a really nice grilled cheese, a little bit of avocado on there. You could thank me later, that's a little trick that I do, and it would be amazing. That like subtle maltiness, I feel like just complements any kind of flavor that you do, or any dish that you make it with. Specifically, any type of creamy cheese. This beer is sold here in our public house. We sell it in 6-packs, and we also have it on draft, meaning you could come on down to our beer garden and have a lovely pint outside, or you could get it in a growler, or a growler to go. I hope everybody enjoys. Happy Beersgiving! Oh, baby, baby. Nice. Beautiful. That's good stuff at 10 in the morning. Hi, my name is Saneta Santana, and I am the General Manager of Angel City Brewery. Today we're going to be pairing our Angel City Brewery Dr. Mouthfeel, which is an imperial oatmeal stout that our brewers aged in oak barrels for 4 months. And we're going to pair this beer with Miyoko's Farmhouse Cheese Wheel, which is smoky, creamy, and overall kind of tangy, and pairs so nicely
with this beer. So let's get into it. So Miyoko's, if you're not familiar with this brand, and I personally am because I'm plant-based, and let me tell you, it's hard to come across some good plant-based options. Miyoko's is a plant-based brand. You can find a variety of vegan cheeses, and so this one is 100% vegan. It's supposed to be like an English farmhouse wheel, and so when you take, even just smelling it, it smells kind of smoky. You can smell some of the tang as well, just slightly. And in taking your first bite, you'll feel that like creamy mouthfeel. You'll feel some of the tang on the sides of your mouth, and you'll smell and taste some of the smoke. And take my first bite. That's pretty good. That's pretty good just alone. But right now, my mouth feels like that creamy character that we were talking about. Right now, if we had a cheese board, or if you were enjoying a meal with this cheese, this beer would come in handy to help kind of cleanse your palate of that like creamy mouthfeel. And so the amazing thing about Dr. Mouthfeel is that just on the nose alone, so we talked about the aromas and the characteristics of this cheese here, but the aroma alone is vanilla. You get some bourbon, some rye notes, and the vanilla comes from the oak barrel aging. You even get things like chocolate and coffee. So we're gonna smell it some more and take our first drink. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Did I already mention that it's 13%?
Not yet.
Yeah, all right, so this bad boy is 13%. Let me tell you, it's 10 in the morning right now, and haven't had my coffee, so you should edit that out. So Dr. Mouthfeel is 13%. So even on the nose, just going back to the aroma, you can kind of smell some of the alcohol. And when you take your first sip, the sweetness of the malt character really balances out the smokiness that you're getting from the cheese. And to me personally, that's one of the things that balances out the smoke character, the smoke with the sweetness. There's also some slight alcoholic warming because it is 13%. And so what alcohol does is it cuts fat. And technically what we're getting from this cheese here, that creaminess, we are taking that in as fat. And so the alcohol is cutting right through. So once you take your first drink, you can go back to the cheese, you can pair it with other fruits or other spreads, and just keep that balance going so that you don't get overwhelmed. One of the things that I find really special in barrel-aged items and imperial stouts is that the rich mouthfeel, the chocolate, the coffee notes, the velvety mouthfeel from the oats that are used, that all pairs so well with like chocolate cupcakes and rich chocolate cake. And we keep saying rich, but the alcohol, because these tend to be higher alcohol beers, especially if they are barrel aged, that alcohol will cut through any of the fat or the rich creaminess. And so so if you're wondering where you can get your own Dr. Mouthfeel, we have it available on site. So it's not available for on-site consumption, but it's packaged in 22-ounce bottles. So since we are open now, if you're in for a reservation, you're enjoying some drinks here, some food, and you want to take some beer home with you, you can always just ask your server to add it to your bill. And if you're not quite on site, but you still want to stop by to pick up some beer, our e-store at angelcitybrewery.com, if you hit the shop link, we'll have all of our to-go beer options available. You can select the shipping option if you want these beers to be anything but our core beers are available for shipping. So if you wanted to order Dr. Mouthfeel, if you wanted us to ship that to you, just select the shipping option on our e-store. Otherwise, if you were in the area and you wanted to swing by, you would hit the pickup option, select your pickup time, and then get your goodies. Thank you for taking the time to join us in our beer and cheese pairing.
And to all our customers, we really appreciate all the ongoing support that we've seen in these last several months. Cheers to hopefully positive steps ahead and to good beer and good community. Cheers.